Hey guys, how's it going? Josh here. I hope you're doing well. Today I've got a special video for you. Now, if you've recently updated to iOS 14 and you noticed your iPhone has slowed down or isn't as fast as it used to be or doesn't perform as well as it used to do, this is the video for you. Now, I've got a couple of tips that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video to help you reclaim your iPhone's speed on the new iOS 14. Now, the first thing I need to mention about this, just as a quick disclaimer, is your phone feeling a bit slow right after updating to iOS 14, at least for a couple of days right after update, is completely normal. Actually, it's to be expected because after updating to a new version of iOS, iOS does a lot of housekeeping tasks on your iPhone, indexing things for search, getting your photos and all those things sorted. So it's important that you give it some time, so just have a bit of patience. If you've just recently updated to iOS 14 and your phone's feeling a bit sluggish, that's because your phone needs to do all that stuff, especially at night time. Just give it some time, give it a few nights, and it should pick up again after a few days. Now, if you notice after giving it some time, you've given it 2-3 days and your phone still isn't back to its zappy quick self, then here are certain things you can do. Now, the first thing is to make sure that you're actually on the latest version of iOS. Now, I'll show you how to do that very quickly, just to make sure that you can check for yourself to make sure that you're on the right version of iOS. So I'm going to open my phone very quickly and show you what I mean by that. So what you want to do is go into the settings app, so the settings app on your iPhone, and scroll all the way to general. Now, on general, you want to click on software update, so that's the second option from the top, and that would automatically check Apple servers, especially if you're connected to the internet. So make sure you're connected to the internet for this step to ensure that you've got the latest version of iOS, because what happens sometimes is that when there's a new release of iOS, Apple's on high alert, so they look out for anything that's going wrong for a lot of users and they release hot fixes. So if a lot of users are having particular problems and you're one of those users, it's helpful to go on here and check to make sure that Apple hasn't released any hot fixes that could help your situation. So that's what this does. So that's the first thing you need to do to make sure that you're perfectly covered on that side. Now, the second thing you need to do is to go to the App Store and update all your apps. Now, with every release of iOS, there are certain optimizations that are required to make sure that all apps can take full advantage of the new iOS. So developers, I'm a developer myself, so I can tell you this, we race against the clock to make sure that we can meet up to the deadline for Apple's release of the new iOS, to make sure that all our apps are fully updated and well optimized to run beautifully on the new iOS. So often some developers don't get this done on time. So if the app you're trying to use and feels very slow is one of these apps, you might have to wait a while for the developer to update that app or find an alternative app that does the same thing. So unfortunately, you might have to wait in such scenarios. Now, the next thing I want to show you very quickly is if you go back out to the settings app again and scroll all the way to general. Now, you want to click on background app refresh. Background app refresh. Now, what this is a few years ago, Apple introduced this system to allow various apps speak to the internet when you're not necessarily using them. So that way they can get all the necessary updates they need, data, etc. So that when you come back into the app, things are happening immediately. You're not waiting for things to download and so on and so forth. Now, that's a very basic explanation of what this is. But my point is, you don't always need this on. So if you find out that your phone is sluggish, especially on older iPhone models, you can turn this off and see if it improves things, right? So of course, bear in mind that you might have to wait a bit more when you get into certain apps, but for most cases, it should make things feel a lot zappier. Now, I would leave this on because I like having all my apps updated and ready to go when I need it. But again, you could also scroll down this list of all the various apps and turn individual apps off. So if you notice that there's a particular app on here that you don't use ever or you rarely use, maybe once in a few months or once in a few weeks or once in a year, or you've only ever used once, you could just turn background refresh for that app off just individually on this list. So just toggle that and like that. Very easy, right? So yeah, so that will definitely speed up your iPhone if you're having problems there. Now the next thing I want to show you on here is you would want to go back to the settings app, so the main settings page, and scroll down to accessibility right over here, and look for motion. Now make sure you turn off reduce motion, right? By default this is turned off. Now what this does is it reduces all the fancy animations. Now when you're using iOS, you notice there's lots of zooming in, zooming out. You launch an app, it zooms out, you know, just and when you close the app, it zooms back in. So there's lots of those animations going on. Now a lot of them you actually don't notice but they do take system resources. They require your phone to be working very hard. So if you notice that your phone, especially on older models, you might need to turn this off. Again, you barely notice it, but one thing you notice is your phone feels a lot snappier because it's not taking the extra time to perform all these fancy animations and transitions and so on and so forth. So you can turn this off, and of course, again, an added benefit of this is it saves battery life as well. Same with the background app refresh we just talked about. This also saves battery life. So I mean, it's a win-win. And again, if you get nauseous when you're when your things move very quickly, or there's lots of animations on your phone, this also helps with that. So I hope that works for you as well. Right, so let me know if that worked for you guys. Those are just a couple of things you could try right now to get that anyone can try to make their phones feel snappier. Also, make sure your phone is fully charged as well if it isn't, because I know I've got friends who constantly have 10% on their phone. I have no idea what they do with their phones all day, but just make sure your phone is charged when you can. And if you ever need to conserve power, just turn on low power mode. Again, it turns off a lot of unnecessary stuff and your phone functions fairly well. So that's been it, guys. I hope that's helpful. Let me know if your phone still feels slow in the comment section below. If your phone still feels slow, wow, that's a mouthful. If your phone still feels slow after trying these tips, let me know what's going wrong in the comment section below, and tell me the make of your iPhone, the model, and I'll try my best to help you to see if we can find some of solution for you. Anyway, that's been it, guys. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button and smash the subscribe button as well, and don't forget to hit the notification bell, because that's how you're going to find out if I release more helpful videos like this in the future, because for some reason YouTube chooses not to tell people. So please hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and smash the notification bell, and I'll catch you next time. Till then, as usual, be fantastic. See you around.